You just need to see how they behave and whether or not you like that behavior and it works for you. If you don't like something, you say something. Wow, the TTC motto. See something, say something.
If you see something, say something. I thought you said you blocked him. Really?
Can I be mean for a second?
He's like my best friend. What should I respond? Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Hello, and welcome back to Bluntly Speaking.
Welcome or welcome back.
I'm Jola, and this is Elisa. We are your hosts.
Today, we are going to be talking about attachment styles, which I think is a really interesting topic because I think we could touch on some juicy stuff here.
Yes, I think a lot of people have become kind of comfortable, or not comfortable, but familiar with attachment styles. It gets thrown around a lot. People talk about it. Like it's entered mainstream media.
It's trendy. Yeah. People like to talk about it. And one thing about people is they love figuring things. They love labeling things. They love figuring things out about themselves.
I think people like to have the vocabulary to kind of understand themselves better. Yeah. So they love to have the tools for another way to figure out something about the way they operate.
Yeah, people love to understand themselves. People love to know more about themselves. Like literally, we would do all of those online tests. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was a very millennial thing to do.
No, but it's still so common. Yes. Or like the rice purity score. Shout out if you know what that is. Do you know what that is?
I do know what that is.
Yeah, it's so big. People love doing it. But like, hey, like people love quizzes. And people love figuring things out. But anyway.
But this one is actually based on some science. It's based on quite a bit of psychology.
It is based on some science, based off of psychology. So can you tell us what is attachment theory?
Okay, so attachment theory developed roughly in the 1970s.
Okay.
And the two
in the disco era.
Is it? Is it the disco era, the 1970s?
I swear the 70s is like the like.
Okay, she's doing the dance.
The boogie.
So the two main names are, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, but Mary Ainsworth and John Bowlby, I believe. Okay. So those are the two scientists. And it developed from different theories and different people that influence each other, but one actually main study that tends to be associated with attachment theory is known as the strange experiment.
Oh. Okay.
And essentially what it is it's an infant is put into a room with a parent and a caregiver. A parent or a researcher or a strange person. The researcher kind of is the strange person in the situation that they're not familiar with. And so they do different scenarios where the infant is either left with a caregiver or the strange person. And the way that the infant responds to these different scenarios, they kind of like grouped together and categorized what their attachment style is, right? So,
I've seen this. We talked about this in my psychology class in grade 12.
Yeah.
I recall this.
Yeah.
This unlocks memories because I have really poor memory. But I just remembered this. And how the baby reacts, like if they leave and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
It's actually the strange situation experiment. That's the full name. But yes.
Okay.
So that's
to see how they react when the parent leaves.
Yeah. So this study really kind of helped solidify the attachment styles and concepts, and especially in terms of how they develop in childhood. So it's really based on how that infant attaches with their primary caregiver, and then what their general response looks like in different types of circumstances. And so in modern day, we apply this to like modern day relationships because these attachment styles that we tend to develop in our infancy and in our childhood, for the most part, they actually continue to impact the way we interact with people and behave in our adulthood.
Yeah, and in our social settings.
Yes, in our social settings, exactly.
So what are the attachment styles? Do you know?
Yes, there's 4 attachment styles.
Okay.
So the boring one is you're securely attached. Okay.
Securely attached. The boring one.
Well, like
the boring one,
the healthy one,
the one that you want to be.
But so this one, I think some statistics say that maybe roughly 50% of people tend to be securely attached.
Okay. So what does secure attachment look like?
So secure attachment is where you're like you can build trust with people. You're open. You're inviting. You're comfortable being vulnerable. You're comfortable being direct with people.
So you're healthy.
Saying what you like and don't like, and kind of like speaking your truth, but in a constructive way.
Okay, so you're healthy. Like you're good.
Overall,
like you're chilling.
like it's pretty.
Okay.
Like it's a pretty ideal behavior. So then you have anxious attachment.
Okay.
Okay, so
Guys.
so anxiously attached people. So here you have somebody who essentially like is terrified of something going wrong in the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, this type
So
of
in
person,
constant fear.
yes, they want to do everything in their power to like fix things in the relationship, really chasing down their partner to make sure everything's okay. They want to talk about everything there and there. They really want to feel like everything is
Good and dandy.
Good
It's
and
giving like
dandy.
abandonment issues.
a little
type
bit,
thing?
a little
Okay.
bit. So they essentially they need a lot of reassurance to feel that things are good, and they want to be like with their partner pretty much all of the time, or at least know that things are okay repetitively.
So it sounds like a lot of reassurance.
Yeah, a lot of reassurance seeking with somebody who is anxiously attached.
Okay, proceed.
Okay. Then we have somebody who is avoidant. And so with an avoidant person, it's kind of like what it sounds like. They tend to fear conflict. They tend to want to run away from conflict. They also tend to want to run away from intimacy if it feels overwhelming sometimes. With avoidant, what a lot of people don't understand, I think, is that there is this underlying fear and sense of rejection and being rejected. Like avoidant people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So but the rejection is rejection of you, of your feelings, of the things you have to say. So
But like if you do reach out, the fear that you're gonna be like rejected or brushed off. So then
that's
it's
right.
just
So
better
if
to
you
avoid
open
it
out,
altogether.
open up, yeah, that's right. So if you open up or you speak out or you say what's on your mind and that person dismisses you or rejects you altogether, it's kind of like better to deal with stuff on your own anyway, right? So it's a combination of that as well as feeling kind of like overwhelmed if somebody is trying to create all this closeness and proximity and you're not used to it. So there's also that aspect and component to being avoidant.
It sounds like avoidant and anxious will clash heads.
And
Sound
that's
like it's a
exactly
nightmare.
what happens. That is a really common pattern.
Yeah, it sounds
Yes.
like it. And the last one,
So
fourth?
the last one is disorganized, and this
Okay.
one is kind of like a fun little blend of the two.
Oh, a fun little blend.
So this person
Okay.
you're going to feel a lot like they're very hot and cold, they're very up and down, they crave the proximity, but then at the same time they struggle with it or they fear it. They want to build that relationship with you, but that relationship can easily feel overwhelming. Accountability can be a struggle for somebody who's disorganized. But also at the same time, they might struggle with their own worthiness or with helplessness as well as rejection. So they can struggle with like various aspects of things that come up in a relationship, right?
Okay, which one do you think you are?
Me?
Yeah.
I would say I'm somewhere between like anxious or disorganized, or was. Now here's the fun thing about attachment style. So
okay.
it's good that you asked this. They can change.
They can change.
They can absolutely change because the attachment style is originally kind of created based on the caregiving relationship when you're young, but it can change either for the better or for the worse as you have other experiences with other people.
Yeah. So how do attachment styles develop in childhood? And we've already answered that they can change over time. But how do they develop in childhood?
So it really depends on the type of treatment that the child receives. Okay. So when you have, for the secure attachment style, essentially that parent or that primary caregiver is responding to the child's needs. They are responsive, right? So if that child is crying out, if that child needs something, the caregiver is there and is present. And so what the child learns is that they can rely on somebody and they can trust that person, right? So they are calmer, their nervous system is calmer, and they are less stressed out.
Yeah,
And
so it
that-
relies on the parenting styles. I feel
not necessarily a parenting style, but the level of responsiveness from the parent. And I think the good news here is that the parent doesn't actually need to get it perfect 100% of the time for the child to be secure. Like, they don't need to be responsive to everything all the time. But as long as most of the time they are responsive to that child's needs, they can actually feel relatively secure in their relationship with their caregiver.
that's really good.
Yeah. So the anxious one, it's if if the parent is essentially a little bit neglectful.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And the reason is because they're not present. So then the child essentially develops this coping behavior where they're like, okay, well, let me do whatever it is that I can possibly do to get their attention, to get my needs met.
Okay, so avoidant would be associated with what?
Avoidant is more like dismissiveness. Like if you have a caregiver that dismisses that child's experiences, and the way that this sounds like, especially like in young boys, man up, grow up, or they minimize.
So like sexism. Like
well, okay, sometimes, right? So like, misogyny passed down.
Yeah.
Or, yes, these like very sexist standards.
I hear that a lot though. I feel like boys that are more avoidant would be told in their youth to like man up and grow up.
Yeah, and the reason it happens.
I feel like boys or like guys can be a lot more prone to having an avoidant attachment style because of that, because of the expectations.
Mm-hmm, the societal.
To like not show
emotion,
which is really sad.
Yeah.
I think because showing emotion is, I feel, really important, and you just end up bottling it all up if not.
Well, you have to be able to understand your own emotions and your own emotional experience. And like if somebody is constantly shutting you down, and that's exactly what avoidant is. If somebody's constantly dismissing your experience and shutting you down, that's where that feeling of rejection comes from. And that's where, you then have to essentially figure out that, or you learn that you have to figure everything out by yourself. Right, so you really lean on your own tools and skill sets to kind of feel like you can be okay.
And now disorganized?
Okay, so disorganized is like there is no consistency in the caregiver's behavior. But from the child's perspective, what that looks like is they don't know what the parent's really motive is. They don't know what version of their parent they're going to get. And so,
or maybe if one parent is a certain way and then the other parent's another way.
Sometimes, but I think there's still some level of predictability because children are quite adaptive, right? Like if they know how one parent is going to behave, like they know what to expect, and they know that this parent acts this way and that parent acts that way, and they can navigate that. But when there is a deep inconsistency in the caregivers and they can't predict their environment, it can often be associated with disorganized attachment, which is what they then go on to emulate as they get older, which is why you see kind of like that hot and cold behavior, right? Between navigating being quite a bit anxious and really wanting to attach to the person versus being also like very hyper independent and wanting to like just take care of yourself all the time the moment something goes wrong.
So since we're on the topic of parenting and childhood and whatnot, let's say I am more anxiously attached and I have a child, would I be passing down that attachment style to that child?
That's a really good question. And I think if you don't acknowledge this about yourself, and if you don't understand how, let's say, your anxious tendencies show up in your relationships, then yeah, like you can absolutely pass down some of that to the kids, right? Like you can pass down to your child, because let's say if you are holding on very tight, you're sending them really negative messaging about the world, you're behaving in certain ways, then that child is also likely to pick up certain fears and anxieties and behave in certain ways in which the world doesn't feel safe or it doesn't feel very secure, right? But it's more based on the way you respond as a parent, right? So the attachment style really just speaks to the responsiveness, right? Like it speaks to knowing that somebody is there for you when you need them, right? Developing anxieties or passing down anxieties, that can definitely happen, but that's a little bit different. Okay, so now that we've been talking about the attachment styles, I wanted to ask you, like, is it helpful for you to try to figure out what your attachment style is? And like, does it tell you anything about yourself or help you learn anything about yourself?
To figure out what my attachment style is?
Yeah, to like, we were just chatting about it, like to think about it.
Yeah, I feel like it's very important because then you learn how to handle it.
Okay.
And if you're in a relationship and you figure out what attachment style your partner is, you're able to negotiate and figure out each other.
Okay, so it gives you like...
I think it helps. I think it assists.
Okay, it sounds like you're saying it gives you the language to communicate with your partner what you need, and maybe even be able to tell them this is probably why I need it and where I'm coming from.
This is what I need from you to feel more secure in this relationship, to feel better in this relationship, because I am more anxious and I just get worried. So I need a little bit of that reassurance, and I need you to reassure me sometimes. And then maybe, let's say my partner's avoidant, he can say, hey, I need a little bit of space right now. Like, I still love you, but I just need a moment to myself. So it just helps with the communication, knowing how your partner is.
It sounds like it also helps you understand their behavior better.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happens. Like, an anxious person will be like, why are you running away? Why are you like this? And the interpretation is usually like, oh, well, you're not committed. You don't love me. You don't want to work through it.
Making assumptions, basically, which I feel like could really harm the relationship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Whereas in this kind of gives you like a framework for you to understand why your partner behaves that way, and why they might need the things they're asking for, even if you don't necessarily relate to that experience.
What do you think each attachment style needs?
So you touched on it a little bit.
Okay.
An avoidant person, they need a little bit more space oftentimes, because if you think about what we just talked about in terms of what that caregiver relationship looked like, they had to go figure out all of their big emotions on their own. And so that's how they're used to coping. And so normally they need some time and space to figure out whatever emotional response they're having. How's it going there? Your coaster fell down. So somebody who is avoidant does need a little bit more space to work through things. And we talked about also the rejection component. And so the biggest thing that I like to kind of help my clients figure out is she got water on her phone and is wiping away the water with her shirt sleeve, okay? It's really hard to have a serious conversation.
I'm here, I'm present, I'm listening.
Okay, so speaking to the rejection component, somebody who is, girl, I can't do this. Can you just
I just felt the coaster on my lap.
Drink your water, put it back down. Water break. Okay, so for the avoidant person, we spoke to the rejection component quite a bit. And so when somebody who tends to be avoidant, when they're talking, what you really want to do is give them the space to express themselves, and make them feel like it's okay for them to have whatever feelings and experiences they are having.
That their feelings are validated, basically.
Essentially. Okay. And their feelings, and what ends up happening is that an avoidant person will usually be in a relationship with someone who is anxiously attached, and then the anxious person really wants to be understood. So then whenever the avoidant person speaks, the anxious person literally steamrolls them. And it's like, that's not what happened. No, this is my experience. Or they'll try to explain themselves. So like, you really want to make space for the avoidant person to actually express themselves. And you need to know that both of your experiences can be completely relevant and true. And whatever they're saying doesn't negate what your experience was. And that doesn't mean that they can't speak to your experience. But you have to give them that space, because it does otherwise feel like the rejection that they're used to receiving. And so, as we know, what that does is it just makes them withdraw even further.
Yeah,
like,
make
why
them
would
not
I
want
share
to
with
say
you
anything in the first place, and that's very fair, because they already struggle with talking about their feelings in the first place. And I've had friends that tend to be more avoidant, or just are in general just too afraid to talk about their feelings. But sometimes, especially if they really like the girl, or like are in a relationship and they want to make it work, they will attempt. But they will do it so nonchalantly, I guess.
Like, they're like testing the waters.
Yeah, they're testing
to see
the
how
waters.
you're gonna respond.
But they're not being direct about it, so then they like a lot of the time they will like just get like absolutely like steamrolled. And that happens. So I remember, because my friend was in a relationship and he was telling me he was saying, oh, I never really talk about my emotions. I usually just hide them. But I attempted to talk about them with her, and she completely went over them. And I asked him, how did you approach it? Because sometimes if you're going to give it a real chance, if you're going to give it a real shot, you kind of have to like, hey, I am feeling this way.
I am doing something. Well, I'm doing something that's hard for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to make it clear, because sometimes people don't realize that. And I've had that issue too, where sometimes I don't realize it. And I've suffered in some friendships because of that.
I think that's actually such a good tip.
Because I wouldn't notice, because I would be like, okay, if they're going to act like it's not a big deal, then I guess it's not a big deal.
Yes.
Or they're just doing it to spare themselves.
Well, but that's exactly it. So like opening up about your experience and like they might not fear rejection the same as you do. The vulnerability might not be as scary for them as it is for you. And also, even if like other people fear rejection, they might be for something totally different. Everybody has their own kind of wounds and things that they struggle with. So that person has no idea that what you're saying is really serious until you act like it's serious or say that it is serious to you.
So you have to act like the situation is serious, because then those conflicts start occurring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then the conversation goes like, but I did talk to you about it. No, you didn't. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You brushed off, da-da-da. And then there's this whole back and forth thing.
You need to be able to actually like gently demand that you take up a little bit of space, right? In the sense that like, hey, I have something to say that I'd really like for you to hear, right? And that it's really important to me that I get this out and that you try to understand where I'm coming from, right? And so that's what I mean when I say that. Versus like, let me try this out and not say anything. And then they do steamroll you because they don't think it's a big deal. And let it
build up until you burst.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then you're like, I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it. Like, you're, like, testing them almost.
Exactly.
And then expecting the fail.
Yes, anxious people do this too. The testing, very common. Because they're anxious.
Most people do it.
Yeah. They're like, okay, well, if they behave in this manner when I do X, Y, Z, then they pass. And if they don't, then they fail. And I knew it.
Testing is so unhealthy in relationships, I feel. Well,
go on.
In most cases, I feel like testing is really bad.
So you don't need to test people to figure out if that person is reliable. Like, you don't need to create a test for them. You just need to see how they behave and whether or not you like that behavior and it works for you. If you don't like something, you say something. Wow, the TTC motto. See something, say something.
If you see something, say something.
From Toronto, guys.
Oh my god. I just fully clocked that too. Do you know how often I take the subway every single day to school, and all I hear every day, if you see something, say something. Or how does it go?
But apply that in your life.
Real.
That's how you know if you can connect with someone or trust someone. If there's something you don't like, you say something. If they don't change that behavior. If you see something,
say something. Go TTC.
TTC is relationship motto.
Real. Oh my god.
And yeah, so if they don't, update their behavior in ways that make you feel more comfortable and make you feel secure and make you feel loved, and then you know, right? Like, the test is really not necessary. That's the whole point.
No, because you're able to find out in other ways anyways without doing the whole Shazam.
Yes.
You'll see it.
And oftentimes what it is that you are actually rejecting the evidence right in front of you. Right, like they'll be behaving in a certain way, and you're like, okay, well, maybe they have a reason, but then you don't know what's going on. So then there's the tests come up.
Basically, you're being delusional.
A little bit of delulu.
A little bit of delulu.
Delulu. If you see something, say something. That's how you know, guys. I don't know how else to say it.
If you see something, say something. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna quote that for the rest of this episode. You'll just hear me going constantly.
Okay, wait, I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned you sometimes lean on disorganized. So what type of behaviors make you feel more secure or bring out like your insecure attachment? What would someone do, or how would they act that would make you kind of like flare up in those thoughts that you previously mentioned?
I think if things in the dynamic are going really good, they're really hot, like, then all of a sudden they get cold. Or if there's just a switch up in the behavior, that's very common.
So consistency.
And if there's a little bit of inconsistency, I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you were just, like, that's weird. Like, that's not what you usually do. And also in relationships, my girlies that are in long-term relationships, one of my friends, if her boyfriend will do something slightly out of the ordinary, it's like, what? Like, what? And then she'll start going crazy, but that's very normal. And I've been in a relationship too, where if they do something slightly out of the ordinary, like, you'll overthink it because it's abnormal. But if you say it out loud, it sounds absolutely insane. Oh my God, my man sent me like a good night with 3 hearts instead of 4. I would crash out. I used to crash out over that kinds of stuff because it was just so normal. I'm like, oh my God, 3 hearts instead of 4. He hates me. He wants me to die. He wants me gone. Really he wants to break up with me.
Okay, wait, so how do you okay, no, I know. But like, how did you navigate that then? Like, how did you become better with that?
Okay, but a lot of the time I'm also right.
So that doesn't help.
So it doesn't help because it would mean something. Like especially, yeah, no, because
no, you know it's true.
When you know. No, but I would be right a lot of the time, and I would overthink it, but I would just ultimately I would be right. So
you haven't gotten over it. Is what I'm hearing.
When
there are 3 hearts instead of 2.
Yeah, then there will be a crash.
you are over there losing it.
What do you mean? Yeah,
okay.
No, still working on it actively, guys. Like, I didn't say I was secure. I never said that. And then also from the avoidance side of it, I just think I will tend to just take my space or like be like, like, you know.
Yeah.
A girly needs a deep breath every once in a while. Whoa. Wait, what was your question?
My question was, what in other people's behavior makes your symptoms flare up more in terms of like, or like makes you act, makes you feel insecure, and you answered that perfectly.
The inconsistency makes me
so then let's do it this way. In an ideal world, let's say you notice that there's 3 hearts instead of 2 in the goodnight message.
Oh my God.
Okay.
We're throwing.
What is the next thing that could happen that would make that feel better? Like, what could they do? What could they say? What could you do? What could you say that would make that 3 hearts instead of 2 feel normal? I'm dead serious. Like,
I sound insane. Okay. But, like, I know someone out there knows what I'm talking about.
A lot of people know. And then other people, oh my God, the comments in like reels. And then other people are like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, no, this is many people's very real experience. Let's stop diminishing it.
Okay, to be fair, the example that I've used is, yes, it's a little bit crazy, but it gets the point across. And it's just a funny, quirky little example. Okay, let's say my man sent 3 hearts instead of 2. I'm like, what? You want to break up? Okay.
There's those assumptions.
How I'm approaching that, I'll just be like, oh, I'll make it a joke, I think. Because in that case, it's not that serious. I'm like, oh, so you just advised, or you'll do exactly what you advised against, because you said, hey, as an avoidant person, be direct, because the other person doesn't know how serious it is. She created a trap for herself, guys. It depends on the severity of it.
So
okay. Maybe I'll collect it. Like, if it
collect it.
Shh.
She's thinking.
Hear me out. Let's say, sure, my man sent me 3 hearts instead of 2. It is not a big deal because I also have to be comfortable within myself, okay? And I have to find a place in myself, and I have to reflect. Mm-hmm. Is it really that big of a fucking deal? Okay. You know, some things you can let slide. You can take a deep breath, be like, okay, it's not that serious. Go to bed. Don't overthink it. Maybe it didn't mean anything. But if there's more behaviors that are off, then bring it up, because then you'll have numerous examples, not just the one-time fluke.
I've actually seen you do this, or like we've talked about you doing this.
And I've done this many times where I'll just wait, be like, okay, I'll brush it off this time. It's really not a big deal.
So wait, okay. What do you say to yourself when you're brushing it off? Like, how do you manage to brush it off without being genuinely still upset?
My internal monologue will be like, they hate me! They don't want me! I'll be dying. Or I'll like crash out internally, and I'm the most like plottiest plotster ever, and I'll start plotting some like master plan to like get them back. And then
Girl,
I have
I'm learning so much about you today.
Are
I
you
actually
serious?
didn't know this. No.
No, I crash out so often. It's genuinely so bad. If I like the man, I will literally start tweaking. I'll start asking his friends. I'll be like, does he hate me?
I've seen that. Okay, so what you're telling me is even though you try to let it slide, let's say as you're collecting the different
They don't know what my
examples,
internal monologue
but
is.
you're not actually okay with it. So you're holding on to that.
Because if the next day it's better, or they do the same amount of hearts again, and they recover it, then it'll be fine. But I have to be more content with myself. And I have to be able to not be insane. You know what I mean? You have to be able to self-reflect a little bit.
Okay, so I can.
Do you,
I see
do you,
you.
do you hear my vision?
I see your struggle, right? Like I see
Okay.
you knowing that okay, this doesn't sound quite right.
Exactly.
I see that you can acknowledge that, but emotionally you're not there yet. You have got the struggle on the inside. And so those are like that's what I'm trying to figure out in the sense of like how do you bring yourself down? How do you regulate? Other than just that other person's behavior.
Go do a hobby.
What's your hobby, baby sis? Please do share.
Maybe I'll do some like drawing, some doodling.
When was the last time you drew something?
Not that long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you show me? I want to see.
I think when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, that's different. Okay. We do that for Russell, okay? You gotta keep busy.
No, but I will like, or I'll start writing something, or I'll listen to my music. I'll do things that make me happy.
And does it help?
Yes, my music.
Oh, your music. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it that
I
you
love
are
my
feeling
music.
in those moments? Like when it's 3 hearts instead of 2. I'm loving this example. We're really going with this one.
We've just decided to take the example.
We're running with it. It's 3 hearts instead of 2. You don't want to sound, too intense, and you're not going to call it out yet. You're going to wait, but
No.
you are feeling very emotional.
Yes.
What are the emotions you're feeling?
Rage.
Oh. Okay, so okay, so rage, anger, that's like a very like action forward emotion. Like there's a lot in your body.
Yes, and then I just tell myself, it's fine. It's okay. He doesn't hate me.
But that makes a lot of sense why you're using music to navigate rage. I'm imagining.
Yeah, the music in question, like hardcore death metal. Ah! In my ears.
Okay, but no, there's something important to be said about this because
There's a lesson in here.
There is
There's
a lesson in here. The finger up. There is a lesson in here. It really helps when you like essentially do something that matches what you feel on the inside initially and then slowly bring that down. So like a lot of the times
I love my music.
yeah, but listen, a lot of the times when people are anxious or when they're angry, it's like, oh, we start with like our breathing exercises, this, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong, that's super important. Like that's super critical. But if you're really, really amped up, you can't just go from like that level to some basic ass breathing exercises. You actually sometimes need to match the energy level constructively, right? So like
Match the freak of your
dancing,
emotions. I love dancing.
music, working
Exactly.
out, going for like a quick paced walk, like going outside in the cold.
Oh my
or
god,
whatever.
dude! Wait, okay, circle back. I do that so much. The quick
walk,
pace walk.
yeah.
No,
It helps, right?
Yes. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I do that so often. If I'm mad about something, I'm going on a walk, and you just see me marching down the streets in all anger and frustration.
Because you're expending that energy in your
Exactly.
body. Yeah, that's exactly
You're
what it is.
taking all your, and then after my walk, I'm so happy and content, and I'm like,
Yeah, you
I'm
can
fine.
breathe.
Exactly, you
Yeah.
can breathe again. So, if your man is making you crash out over not sending you enough hearts, go
We're
on,
sending you too many hearts.
for not sending enough hearts. Go on a walk, listen to your rage music, come back, take some deep breaths, go to bed. If he continues acting weird tomorrow, be upfront, talk to him about it.
Is this for the viewer or for you? me. But if you relate, then also you.
But if you relate, and I know some of you do, you filthy liars, then don't be shy. Or book a session with Yola, and she'll help you get through your anger. She has to deal with me. I am a little bit short-tempered, so.
You? No.
Okay, so let's circle back real quick.
Yeah.
After our little rant, our little tangent.
Let's start it with like how you help an avoidant person out.
Yes. So now how do you help an anxious person out?
Okay. No, so that's really important. So an anxious person or like anxiously attached person is often living in their like worst case scenarios.
Oh my God, really?
They are living in like the sky is falling.
What I just said. That's what we talked about.
A little bit. A little bit. So they, there's just
they're cheating. Oh, yes. He didn't respond for 2 hours. He's in a 24-hour fuck fest. Like,
wow.
He's fucking. What position are they in? Like,
so that's a real life example, very legitimate of like what could be going on. And so what you want to be doing if you are with somebody that tends to be like anxiously attached, you really, really want to be direct. You want to be as direct as possible, and you want to offer them information about yourself and what's going on in your mind and what your intentions are and what you're trying to do, because what's going on is probably significantly better and lighter and easier than what they're imagining is going on.
Oh, 100%. If you are not going to be able to respond for a certain amount of hours, let's say like 6 hours, whatever, or
give them 5 hours.
Give them a heads up. Be like, hey, I'm going to go do this for a little bit. That's why. If I don't respond, so don't worry. I'm just going to be doing this.
Yeah.
Love you, sexy pants. See you in the sheets later.
And then, so what's so amazing about this, a lot of people think like, okay, well, I'm just enabling their behavior. No, actually, here's what happens. They start to see all these different circumstances, like these situations start to add up, so that after a while of you being really consistent and being kind of gentle with them and giving them kind of this directedness and this information, the next time you're unavailable, they have a lot more information kind of like in their memory or in their toolkit, which is like, oh, well, okay, it could be this worst case scenario I often go to, but also normally they're doing this that they tell me about. And so there actually is more space for them to emotionally navigate it.
Oh, exactly. And that's very true.
That's exactly how
maybe I'm more anxiously attached instead of disorganized. I'm beginning to connect some dots here.
See, that's what I originally thought about you.
Oh, you think? Yeah, I may be more anxious.
But there could be disorganized a little bit as well.
But sometimes, low-key, maybe it's just the person. Maybe it's just the person.
And that's a good point, because different people can bring out different behaviors in us. And they can make...
I have been more avoidant before. And I've been more anxious before. And I've been secure. I've been all of them.
So I think what you're touching on is the types of relationships you've had with people. And it is absolutely true. Like we said, attachment styles can change. I mean, they don't change person to person, but they can change over time. But it's also an excellent example of the type of relationship you build with somebody can actually help you lean towards a better version of yourself versus a worse version of yourself. Right? Depending on how they behave, right? If you are receiving a lot of this direct input and it's lighter and you're building out this consistency, then yeah, you'll probably see yourself feeling more secure or behaving like somebody who is more securely attached. Another tip that I would add when dealing with somebody who's anxious is they're really trying to like, we talked about it earlier, where it's like, maybe their caregiver neglected them, so they're really wanting to attach to somebody to get their needs met. So there's a lot of like this, like trying to explain yourself, express yourself, and prove yourself. And so it really, really helps when they share something with you, you indicate to them that you heard them.
You're so wise. You're like an owl.
Oh, thanks, Spooky. But no, I'm serious. Like you paraphrase what they say to you, or like you just in ways that they can understand. You let them know, like, I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you.
I'm present.
I am present.
I'll hold your hand when I tell you this.
And yeah, and this goes both ways. And so like it like this sense of like directedness and openness is essentially that process of building reliability and trust. And it goes both ways for both the avoidant and the attachment the anxiously attached person as well as disorganized. That is kind of like your general recipe there. So feeling secure in a relationship can actually look a little different for everyone, because actually different people have different personalities that influence what makes them feel secure versus others. Like some people, there's introversion, extroversion, and different aspects of personality that go into that. There's also cultural differences that influence what somebody interprets as secure or what makes them feel secure based on their upbringing, or even, their parents' background. So knowing all of that, what are some behaviors or some things that make you feel most secure? Like in general, what are ways that somebody could show up as a friend or a partner or whatever it is that would make you feel really good and really comfortable and make you feel like you can rely on them and trust them?
One, that effort is evident.
Okay, can you expand on that? Like, what do you mean?
Like, they are putting in an effort that they want to be with you. Like, it shows. Like, there's reassurance. Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's very important. But also effort. Showing through actions that you want to be there. Planning things. Going on dates.
Okay.
Doing little things, I feel that would show or make me feel more secure in the relationship. Like, they actually want to be there. Making the phone calls. Shooting a text, Mm-hmm. Doing all these things. Okay. So putting in the effort will make me more secure.
Yeah, so you're like, if I like what I see.
If I like what I see.
If you see something, say something.
If you see something, say something.
But if I like what I see, you can actually say something too. You can say something positive. Like
Exactly.
you can let
positive
your partner know
reinforcement.
You can reinforce the behavior. But you can also let your partner know that you appreciate it, and that does reinforce the behavior. It creates that warmth in the relationship.
Call them a good little boy so they continue.
Oh my God. We don't treat our partners like Pavlov's dog, the experiment. No, thank you. They are a complex person, but you can show appreciation.
Pavlov was classical conditioning. Operant conditioning was Skinner.
But the point was,
if you see something,
say something, including something positive.
Wow,
if your partner acts,
now.
we could just got it. Like, TTC really has to sponsor us for this video. It's a lot of advertising for free.
For free?
But positive or negative.
Yes.
Okay, so you touched on behaviors and things, the ways that they would act. What about what could they say?
What can they say
in terms of communication? Tell me about the communication aspect.
I feel compliments go a long way. I love me a good compliment.
Okay. What type of compliment?
All of the above. Tell me I'm pretty. Because I love giving compliments too.
Yeah.
So tell me I'm pretty, but also my personality. You're so funny. Oh my God.
It's because that's what you value about yourself.
Yes.
Your sense of humor.
I love being told that I'm funny. I love being told that I have a good personality. So saying that I'm an absolute jolly joy to be around, I'm busting a load.
You are having a good time.
I'm having a good time. It'll make me, because it tells me that you enjoy being around me.
Right.
Yeah. Physically and mentally.
Yeah. This is true. Actually part of, again, feeling close to someone is, if you really care about someone, you need to show it. It helps to show it. It helps to make
show
them
it.
Feel
Don't
good.
Be nonchalant.
And if you want somebody to be attached to you, you should be part of that person's community or network that makes them feel good, that supports them, that makes them feel good about themselves, because people will lean towards and will be attracted to other people that they feel nice in the presence of, that they feel appreciated, they feel wanted, they feel loved. So everything you're describing actually makes perfect sense. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We hope this was fun for you. We hope it was a little bit insightful for you. And
we'll catch you next time.
See you next time. Bye.